Suicide Squad is one of the rare movies which was not even delayed a bit due to the COVID-19 pandemic. It is hitting US theaters on August 5, 2021 and starts its international rollout by July 30. Here is my review for James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. To be very clear from the very beginning, The Suicide Squad is the best James Gunn movie, period. And James Gunn's directing skills are the best part of the film. It feels like James Gunn was dying to make a film like this. It has all the elements James Gunn loves, like blood violence, violently gorgeous action sequences, and strong language. No doubt it is rated R. James Gunn does it again. He assembled a group of super douchebags for Marvel already, which goes by the title Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, he assembled another group of misfits, but this time for DC. The way he made all these very unpopular DC Comics characters like Weasel, Polka Dot Man, Peacemaker, Ratcatcher 2, Sawan, Javelin, TDK, Blackguard, Mongol, etc. into such interesting characters is just amazing. He also got to deal with a few popular characters like Harley Quinn, Bloodspot, Rick Flag, King Shark, etc. And of course, they are also great. James Gunn puts his best in this movie. He has written and directed this movie. The direction is of course fantastic, but the writing is a bit problematic when it comes to the comedy aspect. Yes, the movie made me laugh a lot, but not all jokes were really funny. Some of the jokes were so horrible that they didn't even make me smile. Hence, a few jokes work and a few don't. Other than the jokes, the writing is very well done. The way he has written all the characters is just so unique in itself. It is not only about humor, but it has a lot of emotional aspects to it as well. There were few scenes in the movie which made my eyes tear up a bit. The movie is written in such a way that it feels like a heartfelt, emotional comedy. As for the cast, Daniela Melchior is the scene stealer performer. Hence, her character of Ratcatcher 2 is a DC C-lister comic character, and in this movie she gives a lot of depth to this character. She easily embraces all the dialogue in the best way. Her character arc was the best in the entire film. And do I need to talk about Harley Quinn? Margot Robbie is always amazing, and this is her best Harley Quinn role yet. Harley Quinn of the Suicide Squad is the best among all the three DCU movies in which she appeared. This is especially due to her costumes. Idris Elba's Bloodsport also has an amazing character arc. He is so great throughout the entire film. Viola Davis returns in her role of Amanda Waller. I can say that she is a lot different because she is the same badass character and she delivers every line of dialogue like that. She is just awesome. As for John Cena's Peacemaker, he was not one of my favorites. Sure, he's great in the role and delivers some of the funniest scenes in the movie, but his character lacks that amazing emotional touch to it. Peacemaker is getting a TV series of his own in 2022 on HBO Max. Along with Peacemaker, King Shark is also equally funny. However, it doesn't even feel like Sylvester Stallone was voicing it. It just looks like a replacement for Killer Croc. David S. Malshin's Polka Dot Man is also one of the best performers in the movie. He also has an amazing character arc. In short, the entire cast was amazing. If I go and talk about every one of them, this review will be 20 minutes long. Let us jump to the action sequences. Only 2 words for them: unbelievably amazing. The action of this movie is so very good. It is just amazing. From the fight choreography to the gun shots, everything is great. And oh man, the violence in this movie is too violently violent. I can see why James Gunn fought for this movie to get an R rating. Birds of Prey was also rated R and it didn't work out well for that movie, but this one is different. It realizes its R rating by showing those amazing scenes of violence. The action is so big scale that James Gunn had to say that this is his biggest movie to date. So this movie doesn't have killer zombies or a bunch of space weirdos in spaceships across galaxies, but it sure does have a huge group of misfits fighting against a giant starfish. This was so great to watch. The story of this movie is one of DCEU's best. The premise reads: imprisoned convicts of Belleravi Penitentiary are sent as members of Task Force X to the South American island of Corto Maltese to destroy Jotunheim, a Nazi-era prison and labor laboratory which held political prisoners and conducted experiments. During the mission, they come into conflict with Starro, a giant telepathic alien starfish. I know this sounds funny, but the way it was executed is so great. It clearly has the best plot execution out of all the DCEU movies. It has so many plot twists and turns that are so unexpected. It is purely madness and chaos. It was a very entertaining movie. The score of the movie was given by John Murphy, and he has given the perfect soundtracks for the Suicide Squad. It blends very well with the action scenes of the movie and any cool scene. It is so energetic and pumping. Comparing it to the first film, there are a lot of connections between the two. I still missed Will Smith's Deadshot. Deadshot is the most most important member of the Suicide Squad in the comics, and his absence in this film will surely leave an empty space into the hearts of comic book lovers. This movie is also very different in tone. This movie does not take itself seriously, while the 2016 version took itself way too seriously, heading into a darker tone. This movie is so filled with the colors and light everywhere. It seems to be the exact opposite of the original. For example, Rick Flagg's costume preferences in the first film and this film are enough to know the difference between the two movies. Some other better aspects of this film are its costume designing. I loved every costume in this movie, especially Harley Quinn, except Peacemaker. The costume for Peacemaker looks ridiculous, but it is hilarious at the same time, and that is why I appreciate it at the same time. It was bad, but in a good way. One part where the original 2016 Suicide Squad is better than this 2021 The Suicide Squad film is the hair and makeup. Come on, it got an Academy Award for that. However, even this movie can get the Oscar for the same category, but I just prefer the first movie when it comes to the hair and makeup. This movie is way more wild than the first one, and hence characters need to look weird. Overall, this movie is amazing, right from the insanely crazy opening sequence to the final madness-filled third act. Really, believe me, it is filled with so much madness. I would like to give this one a 9.1 out of 10. Believe me, it is amazing. It is worth it. It will be an amazing time for you at the movies, and it demands a big screen experience. So that's my review for the Suicide Squad. Like, share and subscribe Film Villa.